is my soapbox reminder as a microbiologist: stop interacting with random wild animals.
Before I get started, if you want to learn more about the Alaska pox, which I didn't even know was a thing until just now, go click back to the video that I just stitched. So just in case anyone was wondering, which I doubt anyone was, but I'm going to tell you anyway, the reason that I got into taxidermy, well, one reason, is because these animals can't give me any kind of zoonotic diseases. Yes, you heard me right. I could literally put this in my mouth and not worry about getting any kind of disease, depending on if somebody sick touched it or something like that. That, as well as just general safety, animals tend to do things like bite and scratch, is why I use taxidermy, skulls, and other bones in order to set up educational displays that are interactive, where people can touch and feel as much as they want without any concern about somebody getting hurt. Well, for the most part, this bobcat still has her claws, and she has stabbed me and made me bleed multiple times. I actually really hate it when my friends send me videos of things like people feeding wild raccoons or taking a wild animal and keeping it as a pet, because all I can see are the dangers. Wildlife should not be eating human food under any circumstances. Just because something is small and cute doesn't mean that it will not hurt you. And some animals can pass on diseases. If not to you, they may also pass on to your pets. Nobody wants that. The opposite is also true. You or your pets can transmit diseases to wildlife. Meanwhile, the risk of transmission from things like skulls, taxidermy, bones, even ones that are a little more gunky like this one, is pretty minimal. You can see I'm holding this with my bare hands. I'll even put it on my face. I've owned this for over a decade now. I'm not scared of it. Now, if you are processing your own animals and you are working with fresh specimens, that is a different story. You do want to take the necessary precautions, wear things like gloves, protective gear, possibly even a respirator, especially if you're doing anything like bone carving. Definitely wear a good quality respirator, and make sure that you're up to date on things like your tetanus shot, and be careful, because if you get a blood prick, you might need to get a rabies vaccine, which I've heard is very painful and very expensive. So please, leave wildlife alone, give them their space, and if you want to safely interact with wildlife, taxidermy is actually one of those avenues. Please do not go around touching other people's taxidermy unless you have explicit permission to do so. I am one of the very few people who is totally okay with people being hands-on with my taxidermy. Most people aren't. Be careful.